So I want to talk about sea shanties, particularly Wellerman and Nathan Evans. I predicted this coming. Everybody else is saying, where did sea shanties come from? Well, I need to say, from the perspective of shocks and feelers, surprise and emotion, when you calculate it, it's actually quite predictable that something like this would crop up for several reasons. Number one, I've said for a long time that if you want to do something extraordinary as a musician, then surprise people. You blend stuff together that doesn't blend together, and you'll go through some garbage, but eventually you'll find two things that don't belong together at all, but put them together and suddenly find, whoa! And you end up with Run DMC and Aerosmith and Walk This Way. And you change the music industry forever because you put things together that shouldn't be together. Another favourite of mine is, what do you get when you cross Irish folk music with a symphony orchestra and 70s punk rock? You get the Pogues, A Fairy Tale of New York. That's where it came from, those influences. I could go on and on about this, but my point is that Wellerman was successful because you took a sea shanty, and that was like, okay, it's not the first time any of us have heard a sea shanty, but the thing that brought in the surprise was the bass. Man, those guys, it was all the layers of bass. It's what other people did to it. That was the magic. That's what had everybody with the hair standing up on the back of our necks going, man. So you had surprise there with two things that we hadn't heard that before. We'd heard some kind of sea shanty, but not that. So got surprise, okay? Surprise and emotion, the two pillars of great entertainment. But the emotional content, you need to look at the context of where this is coming from. On the back of a pandemic, everybody in lockdown, and in a general feeling globally, particularly for men, feeling emasculated and feeling a little bit powerless in an environment where normally, you've got a lot of men in lockdown. You've got a lot of men who can't go out and do the things that they would be doing, particularly some very, very primal urges to want to look after your family and protect your family. And if you want to get really primal, let's talk about hunting and fishing. Let's talk about slaying beasts. That sea shanty was about fishing and slaying beasts. It doesn't get much more manly than that. And you're doing it in a way that you're out at sea with a bunch of lads around you, and you've got a sense of community there, which we are all through 2020 feeling a real aching for a sense of community. You got that sense, and the tone, the emotional tone of that sea shanty, and particularly when the bass kicks in, was one of longing and urging and yearning to want to finally get to the end of this never-ending whale hunt that seemingly never, ever, ever ended. Well, what do we all feel like is never, ever ending at the moment? And so you subconsciously resonated with all of us at a powerful emotional level. And you just put some things together that just right place, right time.